match of the season, a win by our reigning champions, Invincible Armada. I'm Monte Cristo. Joining me is Valdez. We've got an interesting match coming up. Another couple of teams that were at the Invitational will be Gankstars versus Tiger-Phobia.
Yeah, and this is a big match, actually. These two teams are fantastic teams. Like, I think either of these teams could go head-to-head with Invincible Armada for sure. You know, Gankstars just, I think they got third place.
Third place, yes.
Yeah, and they went pretty far. They actually lost to Invincible Armada in the semifinals before going to that third-place match. And, you know, who's the other team here? For some reason I forgot. Tiger-Phobia.
Yeah, Tiger-Phobia. They made
Yeah.
it to the quarterfinals. They had a close series against Hunters where they lost 1-2. But we're looking at playoff kind of quality teams right here, and definitely some of the favorites going in. I'm excited to see Iraqi Zorro coming here, the lane player from Gankstars. I really like watching his Ringo play. His mechanics are insane.
Yeah, that and also Call the Meek, man. His glaive play is just unbelievable.
Well, we saw glaive banned in the last game.
Yeah,
so.
I wouldn't be surprised if they ban him again, especially against Call the Meek. It just makes sense. But we'll see. We'll see exactly what these guys want to go for.
All right, let's take a look at our teams. Starting on this side of the arena, we will have Gankstars coming in. Of course, the American team here. One of the strongest teams, certainly, out of the North American region. And we are going to start on the end here with Gabe Vizzle, who is their Rome player. Played some Catherine, some Adagio over the course of the World Invitational.
Pretty well known, very fantastic player. Sheet says he's a level-headed roamer that punishes enemy damage dealers with acute decision-making skills.
Now, we'll see how acute his decisions are. And there's Call the Meek, jungler from Gankstars. And, you know, we saw that glaive like you were talking about, but he's not really just set in that champion, of course, pulling out some Ringo and Taka. And there is the laner, Iraqi Zorro. Many people regard him as one of the best Vox players in the world, but I really like his Ringo. Like I said, I think his mechanics on that and his ability to kite are pretty damn impressive.
For sure. Give him any kind of lane champion, Ringo Vox, doesn't really matter. This guy is one of the big cornerstones of this team, part of the reason why they do so well. And now we're going to take a look at their opposing team. Over here, it is going to be Tiger-Phobia.
I don't know why they're so afraid of tigers. I think
kind of strange, right? You know,
if I was playing against them, I might change my ID to Tiger and just try and get into their heads a little bit.
Straight up win the game.
Straight up win the game. It'll be Zero on the end, which is their roamer, and playing Adagio Fortress during the Invitational. We may see more Fortress now that he has had some nerfs. He is not as banned as he was during the World Invitational.
As we saw in the last game, Catherine Adagio probably going to be the two main picks here for that roam slot here. There was Zero, as you did mention. Now we're going to take a look here at Suri.
Suri, the jungler, likes that Koshka, that's for sure. And we had some questions. There were some big damage nerfs to Koshka's A, the Pouncy Fun, in this patch. And were we going to see her? The answer was in Game 1, yes, but it was more of a utility tank build. It wasn't full crystal damage or anything like that. And there is Urano on the end, the lane player, playing some Krull, some Vox in their best of 3 versus Hunters. Last time we saw them here on the OGN stage.
Yeah. Fortunately, they didn't show the best games the last time they were here. The Chinese team Hunters was able to take them out, as we mentioned before, but we'll see if they can make a bit of a better showing here against our American team. Looking pretty ready to go.
Yeah, I'm curious what we're going to see. 2 jewel picks, a bit of a surprise in the last game. This is going to be one of the consistent heroes that we see for this tournament. We're about to get into the draft, guys. Or we're not. Looks like we may have some issues here.
I think we might go back on camera once again.
Yeah, looks like we do have. Looks like we may have some issues getting some of the players into the lobby right now. So we'll just have to hold up for a few minutes while these go ahead and get resolved. Looks like Call the Meek maybe having some problems, our ref's
Yeah.
going to go ahead and help him out.
Meek, kind of an interesting player outside of his gigantic eyes, that look quite fantastic on him. He actually plays sitting back in the chair, kind of like curled up into a ball with his iPad on his knees. One thing you will notice, we don't really have the standard computer setup that we do get for a lot of these esports. There are many different ways you can play with an iPad. Actually, Queen, the female player for Hunters, the Chinese team, she actually uses a pillow, and she plays on the pillow. Some players use the phone, as we saw last time from one of the players from Unknown as well.
Yeah, and one of the most interesting things too is even on the array of devices, watching Iraqi Zoro play, he uses his index fingers and he uses his left thumb to actually activate his abilities, which is quite. I think I tried doing that. It's quite challenging to actually do. I think it's very efficient once you get it down, but I'm right-handed, so that does make things a little bit harder with coordination on my left hand.
Oh, for sure. This game, if you guys haven't tried it, first of all, if you do have a mobile device, which I'm sure almost all of you do have, if not all of you, go ahead and download the game. It is very, very fun, very technical.
Yeah.
As you were mentioning before, some mechanics about the game. You do have your skills. Everything is basically you poke at it with your fingers. You can, as you can imagine, you can touch it with pretty much anything and use, all the skills and stuff. So a lot of different players have many different ways of using it. Some players, they hold an iPad mini, even use their thumbs. Some players, just use one middle finger. We've seen that too. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is very interesting. I was when I first got this game, I was really surprised by the level of the graphics and the level of control.
Oh, yeah.
I had a lot of skepticism. How is this going to work on mobile on a touch device? But that melted away pretty damn fast.
Yeah, you get a very easy feel once you go into it. The heroes don't move super fast. They got kind of a standard speed. And, everything is pretty accessible. You got your items down the bottom left, your abilities in the bottom middle, and then you're clicking, you're poking at the screen. I'm not sure exactly what I should say. Clicking, poking, touching, maybe touching. You're touching the screen, and you can, as we were saying before, animation canceling is a big thing in this game. Kiting people is a big thing, especially if you're one of those laning champions as well.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Meek still having some issues over there as we try and get him into this game.
Yeah, kind of interesting. We haven't had any problems just so far. This will be the first technical issue.
That is a sick trophy, by the way. Can we discuss that for a minute?
Oh, yeah. We can discuss this.
That is a very uniquely designed trophy for the winner of this first tournament.
I'm looking around it's over there. Right. Yeah, very, very cool. And as we mentioned before in our CG, $80,000 roughly on the line here. It's pretty gigantic sum of money.
So, Valdez, what is your favorite position to play?
I like playing jungle, actually. I play a lot of Koshka. Even after the nerf, I feel like she's still pretty strong, especially in solo queue. I'm not all too high ranked. I haven't played enough ranked, to be honest. It takes a while to get up there.
Yeah, it does.
Just like with a lot of different MOBAs, a lot of different games, you gotta play a lot of just normal queue, I guess you can call it, before casual queue. I think it is in
casual games,
in Vainglory, before you can actually play ranked. So, yeah, it took a while for me, but now I'm playing that ranked. I'm getting up there. I play a lot of Koshka. I like Jewel as well, and now that she's coming back into the meta, maybe I'll play her a bit more. We'll see if I can make that work.
I like the roam because it's easier to kind of fill out. Most people don't want to play that roam position, but I like using all the activatable items, which is what a lot of the roams get. So it's kind of my thing. We are fixed with our issues, everybody, so we are going to see Game 1 here in Group B between Gankstars and Tiger-Phobia. Glaive banned, no surprise.
And you know what? It was banned by Gankstars, actually.
It was banned by Tiger-Phobia.
No, I think it was banned by...
Oh, yeah, you're right. Interesting.
Yeah. Kind of strange. Also, we do have the soft pick of all Saw. We've seen this before. I guess it's funny. I think Saw is known as one of the weakest heroes in the game so far, so that's why they do this.
So we already have the locks in from Tiger-Phobia. Arden, a champion or a hero rather, that really wasn't played very much in the qualifiers for this tournament. We have all the pick ban stats, very rarely picked up, but it will be making its way here. And Fortress, these are two heroes that are generally played both in the roam role, so I'm interested to see how the itemization shakes out. And we are going to get into game one right now. Welcome to game one here of Group B, Gankstars going up against Tiger-Phobia. Rakizoro picks up the Ringo. Meanwhile, Koshka and Adagio. So pretty standard picks here.
Well, you know, outside of that, Arden, very interestingly enough here, it's played on the jungle player here for Tiger-Phobia. So I guess he's going to be playing some kind of weird weapon damage Arden. I've never seen this before. Not in solo queue and regular, pro games. I've never seen it.
Well, interesting that he's going for the attack speed as we see some little play here, and there are going to be recalls coming in. Nope, not going to be caught, or they can back to the base. So, yeah, that attack speed, very, very interesting.
Yeah, I suppose, well, I was going to say I suppose he could go Crystal, but he is picking up that extra weapon damage item there, so definitely going to be going weapon damage. We'll see how this works out. You know, with him and Fortress, actually, now that I think about it, very high movement speed, the two of them.
Yeah, absolutely. You get that boost with the Vanguard. A little bit of scrapping right now. Cultivate getting low. Here comes Urano. Gabe Vizzle caught in the brush. First kill of the game onto Koshka, and that's not going to be the end of it. Movement speed too much from Fortress and Ardon. And yeah, this is a great pick composition. Like you're saying, the Vanguard will boost Zero's movement speed onto Fortress. Fortress can then leap forward with the Truth of the Tooth, and that will increase the move speed of his entire team. So very, very fast.
This is actually a really awesome comp. It's weird to say it, but I'm actually getting chills thinking about it. I'm like, whoa, this is so smart. This is so smart, actually.
Yeah, well, a little bit more scrapping here, but Tiger-Phobia has to be careful. They're getting low. Rakizoro making the roam down from the lane. Zero, you are gone. Twirling Silver will take him out. And they collapse onto Suri. And that'll be Gankstars answering back 2 for 2.
Yeah, both teams here very early on in the game trying to get a big lead. Invading the jungle very, very far, but both of them getting caught out there as Gankstars did last time. Uh-oh, Scout Trap here.
Another one will be placed down in a more offensive position by Rakizoro as he kites his way through the minion wave and gank, but that will be the Sonic Zoom from Vox getting him out of trouble. Dash also on that Sonic Zoom ability for Vox. And we asked, would we see Vox does take a lot of ramp time, attack speed based champion, scales very nicely with that stat, but really does need those items to maximize the damage.
Oh yeah. For sure. Vox even getting, I think it was slightly nerfed.
Yes.
I have to take another look at those patch notes, but even the range on his Sonic Zoom, the dash ability, his A, was slightly decreased. So not going to have quite the amount of survivability he did have before, but it's a very small change at that.
Yeah, it is. I'm very curious about this Arden. So Arden scales very nicely with flat health. So that's what we are going to see. Of course, his perk does give him regeneration for 1% of health, so the more health you have, the better you're going to be doing. And
for sure. Having one of those perks with the name Julia. There's like Julia's gift, Julia's song, Julia's something else.
Everybody loves Julia. All right, Phobia coming in for a gank here. They are going to get onto a Rakizoro. Can he escape? Has to go ahead and just kite that out with the Twirling Silver, but they can't land any firm crowd control on him, and he will get out of that situation.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, the movement speed very good for this early game, but not a lot of stuns coming out from this team. Actually, pretty much none outside of the ultimate ability, the C of Arden.
Yeah, the gauntlet is huge, though, because if you can just lay that down properly, I think that's going to be the cornerstone here of the composition. Uh-oh, Urano getting caught out just a little bit, has to use that Vanguard on him to give him the shield, and now we see the scrap, but there we go, damage getting done, and 1 kill already picked up by Gankstars. Are they going to dive this? They want to go for it. Not going to quite commit yet. They had a lot of health, but unsure whether they'd be able to pull that one off.
Yeah, especially earlier on, the towers do a lot of damage, so it's going to be hard to dive there, even with a very low health hero in this game. But going to take that advantage and just steal the entire jungle of Tiger-Phobia and just going to get out of there alive. Will they go for the gold minion? That is the question.
They are going to go for the gold miner. Suri on the side right now, doing a bit of jungling past that 50-yard line on the side of that Gangstar side of the map, and the miner will be taken in the end by Gangstar. So Tension Bow, the first item on Ringo. Usually most people consider that his core item. Does front load his first auto attack after he's been waiting for about, I think, 6 seconds. So you get a lot of upfront burst.
For sure. As you guys can probably tell already, Vainglory fights do not last all that long, so getting that burst damage very early on in the fight will give you a big lead. Look at that. Huge damage coming out.
It's very annoying to deal with a Ringo in lane after he gets that Tension Bow because he can trade so efficiently, and the movement speed he gets off of the Twirling Silver means it's difficult to catch up to him. And look at that, geez, just getting a crit right there. Rocky Zoro going for it. He's not going to use his ultimate, though. There's the gauntlet thrown, and he can't get out. He will, and the team not there. They don't want to get stunned, and now Tiger-Phobia turning it around, and that is probably going to be it for Koldamik, trying to get up 1 kill in response. Does grab one on that Koshka. Wants another one, not going to find it.
Very close. The Koshka alone almost getting a lot of kills there. But yeah, as you said before, that gauntlet ability, the ultimate ability coming out of Arden was huge. Locking down Ringo, able to kill him very, very quickly. And then from there was just a straight up 3-on-2.
Yeah, and now Minion, or the Gold Miner rather, goes back over to Tiger-Phobia. And they're going to collect 100 gold on each of their members for that
gold payout, Monty.
Yeah, very decent gold.
Yeah. I love the announcer, actually.
You know what? I'd have to say, I'm not that greedy. I'd take a decent gold payout anytime.
Oh, yeah, man. Straight up gold bars. Give it to me.
Oh, and nice job on the block there. That is why almost everybody buys those reflex blocks early on.
Big thing to point out for your newer players, the reflex block actually blocks the debuffs coming down. So usually on that Hellfire Brew, you do get a bit of a damage over time effect there, but it was reflex blocked, so not going to come down. And it can block stuns, silences, can block anything really, any debuff.
Yeah, I was talking to Koldamik actually as we take a look at the build coming in from Iraqi Zoro here, and that damage right there. So we were talking, and I said, okay, so why do you on Ringo go for the heavy steel into triple Minion's Foot? Because these are all low tier items. They're not kind of end game items. And he said, well, it gives the same stats as Tyrant's Monocle, but it's much cheaper. So you basically get a very gold efficient. It increases or decreases the time rather on your power spike. Oh, Iraqi Zoro getting a bit caught out. Gauntlet again thrown. And that is going to be his death. He's gotten caught out 2 times in nearly the same position.
Yeah.
Bit of a misplay right there. Koshka going to go in. Can they get the kill? Onto the box. Yes, they can. But the scout trap not going to quite catch Koldamik. Gabe coming in on this one. Does he want to pop that gift of fire? He gets it down. Doesn't commit to using that ultimate.
Yeah, Gabe kind of just walking through. He's like, hey guys, I'm going to
It doesn't have the ult yet, excuse me.
Yeah. So we're going to have to wait a bit. You guys can see the level difference here. Koshka level 9, Dagio level 5. That can happen a lot usually. The jungle will be given the majority of the gold, the experience, whereas the other guy kind of the quote-unquote support, the roam. Hero, not so much.
And as we take a look at this, one of the big differences right now, because we see this massive gold lead already, yet Gankstars has been making some misplays in some of these team fights. They have been behind in terms of a kill, but the big breaker right here, look at the farm difference between Urano and Zoro. Zoro has been dominating this lane.
It's pretty unbelievable. We're going to get a closer look at this a little bit later, but we're taking a look at Iraqi Zoro actually here. As we were saying before, using that one middle finger as well as his left thumb to click the abilities. But here we go.
And they're going to go in right now, and that will be an instant death onto the fortress. There's the ultimate, tying up Urano, stun, easily taken. Zoro trying to kite this one out. He's going to get it with just a sliver of health using that move speed from the Twirling Silver.
the Ringo in this game is just, as you said it before, Iraqi Zoro. He's the best player on this team. He's the cornerstone of the team. He is carrying them on this Ringo. It's pretty unbelievable. Taking another look, as we said before, the farm difference, 111 creeps taken by Iraqi Zoro, 64 by Urano, the other laner.
That's just a massive difference. Even Cold-Meek doing a much better job of farming the jungle compared to Suri, opening up a big minion score difference right there.
Yeah, this game definitely a bit more one-sided than the one we saw a bit earlier on. So far, Tiger-Phobia not really living up to their name.
That's why you pick the Koshka. You pick the cat to scare them.
For sure.
Okay,
for sure.
So back to pushing the lane, looks like. One turret already taken by Gankstars. So adding to that global gold. And, you know, all they have to do right now is really just keep the lane push forward. They get another turret just off of a pounce from Cold-Meek.
Oh, yeah.
And now they just control the enemy tri-brush, and they can just sit here, wait for the gold mine to fill again. As long as they don't give up that objective, they can keep snowballing their advantage.
Yeah. As we said before, you can take all the extra gold and just really shut down your opponents, more importantly. You guys can see the gold advantage already 5K gold here ahead for Gankstars. Nice reflex block there on the Hellfire Brew. Not going to take that damage over time. I'm just going to back off. Looks like Tiger-Phobia right now very scared to take any fights.
Well, I think you'd have to be. They can see the score differential. They can look at the enemy items. They can see how much of a difference there is.
That Ringo, man, is just so scary. I don't even know how you would begin to fight. You have to take out Ringo first.
Yeah.
That's the main key here.
Immense gold payout.
Nice take there. Of course, when they push the wave, they take the minion miner, buff those minions, and that just made sure that there was no pressure to actually get into that gold miner. And Gankstars just sweeping repeatedly through the enemy jungle, just an absolutely devastating advantage when it comes to itemization at this point.
Yeah, very, very one-sided. As you can see, the minion foots have been upgraded to Lucky Strikes here for Ringo, so he's also got a Serpent Mask. This guy is so fed right now.
Yes, he is.
It's out of control at this point.
Has even started to build into some shield and armor just for that protection.
Yeah, he might as well. I mean, the only thing he's got to do right now is survive. He's already got the damage.
All right, well, here we go. Gauntlet is thrown down. Iraqi Zoro trying to get onto Zero in this fight, and that'll be the first easy kill. Now he's trying to move through the combat. They get caught by a scout trap. Iraqi Zoro again falling low. They actually take him out. In the end, does get killed by Fortress after he ulted, brought those wolves in.
Yeah, they were finally able to get him, but it just didn't even matter. He did so much damage over the course of that entire fight. He had the Serpent Mask, keeping himself alive with that lifesteal. Another turret going to be taken here by Gankstars, just furthering their lead in this game.
Nothing really, I think, that Tiger-Phobia can do at this point, barring some massive slip-up.
Yeah, I would love to
Gankstars.
see maybe Tiger-Phobia go for a bit of armor or health. It looks like Vox just going pretty purely crystal damage here. Only one reflex block for that defense. We do see a light shield, or I think it's a bit more than a light shield, a kinetic shield here for Zero. Yeah, and that's not really going to help out against Ringo, sorry to say.
Yeah, that's has a little bit of armor on it, but not quite enough to deal with it. And so they are just going to try and kite here using the Vanguard. Speed up, but there's the Koshka ult tying up Urano, and that's a quick kill. Yet another one for Gankstars. I mean, there's basically no resistance at this point. Achilles shot is going to come in, and there's nothing they can do. Rocky Zoro just going to auto-attack them into oblivion. One last Achilles shot. Cold-Meek pounces forward for the kill, and they're just going to tank this. Of course, Gabe Fizzle does have that Fountain of Renewal, so he's going to be just fine when it comes to HP. Cold-Meek might want to be a little bit more careful here, but nope.
That's going to be it.
That's going to be it. Vayne Crystal under attack, and before the Kraken even spawns in this game, it will be a Gankstars victory.
Whoa.
A very dominant showing.
Even the Korean players, taking a look at them right now, they are like laughing. They're a bit embarrassed by that one, man. Gankstars just made a fool of them.
Yeah, crushing in that match, and wow. Urano did get some farm by the end, but you have to credit Iraqi Zoro. He used the power spike on the tension bow so well, repeatedly forcing Urano out of lane and denying him farm.
Yeah, he got that very a big lead in the lane, as you were saying, and then just forcing more fights in the jungle, just controlling the jungle very, very well. There from Gankstars, looking very, very happy. This is part of the reason why we saw Ringo banned out, actually, a bunch against Rocky Zoro. He's very good on Vox as well, but that Ringo play just out of control.
Well, comparing gold, Yurno only had 4,700 gold in that match. Rocky Zoro had 8.8 thousand.
Wow.
So not double, but approaching double.
Approaching double. And that's just out of control. Like that just can't happen.
Yeah. Very smooth sailing for Gankstars. And of course, you know, coming into the World Invitational, they were one of the favorites, did end up in third place. I know talking to the guys, that was a bit lower than they would have wanted, but I think one of the major differences for the team this time is, you know, we do have, they're not going to be jet lagged. They've been in Korea for a while already practicing, and who else could it be? He did make some positional errors, I think, really played a bit overly aggressive, but it will be Rocky Zoro as your man of the match.
Yep, makes sense. The other two guys, they supported him very well, but as we've said it many times, this guy is the main man here for Gankstars. Looking pretty intimidating in that photo as well.
That's right, that is a good picture of him. He's such a smiley guy in real life. He doesn't normally look like that.
Well, we're gonna talk to him now in a bit of an interview. We'll get to see what he has to say about that match.
Yes, we will. Exciting times, and he'll be speaking in English, so that's also a nice bonus.
뱅글로리 인터내셔널 프리미어리그 오늘 두 번째 경기는 2조 1경기 보고 오셨습니다. 갱스타즈와 타이거포비아의 경기였는데요. 갱스타즈가 아주 시원하게 이겨줬죠. 자, 오늘의 MVP 선수입니다. 이라크 선수 이라크 조로 선수 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 안녕하세요. 헬로. 네. 이 3위를 기록했어요. 인비테이셔널에서. 오늘 경기는 어떻게 임했는지 좀 여쭤보고 싶어요.
You guys placed third on the Invitational, so how do you guys feel about today's game?
About today's game, we felt pretty good. To be honest, we weren't that confident going into it. We were a little bit stressed, and so this win is going to give us the momentum to be more confident in the next matches.
이번 경기는 기분이 되게 좋았고 끝냈을 때 경기 들어갈 때는 좀 소극적인 마인드로 들어갔었는데 지길지 질지 잘 모르셨대요.
네.
근데 이기고 나니까 이걸 계속 이어나가려고 하신다고 하십니다.
네, 실제로 이 레인전부터 정글 운영까지 완벽에 가까운 플레이를 보여주셨는데 사실 링고가 초반에 약간 잘리기도 했었거든요. 그때는 기분이 어땠는지 여쭤보고 싶어요.
You guys kind of played it perfectly for overall strategy-wise, but then sometimes you specifically got caught. How did you guys feel? How did you feel about that instances?
Yeah, that's actually pretty true. We tried rotating. The strategy we were doing is a little bit risky in the sense that I might get caught like I did. So it was more of a mistake on my part, and hopefully we won't do it in the future matches.
인정을 하고요. 로테이션 하면서 제가 잘린 적이 좀 많았는데 다음 경기에서 좀 고쳐나가면서 할 예정이라고 합니다.
네, 그래도 정말 멋진 경기였습니다. 오늘 타이거 포비아에 대해서 연구는 많이 했는지 궁금한데요.
Did you research a lot about Tiger-Phobia?
Well, even if we research, there isn't a lot to find about them, to be honest. But since we arrived here in Korea, we have been doing a lot of public matches, and we run into them from time to time, and so we expected the camp that they will run in.
많이 리서치할 기회는 없었는데 여기 한국 와가지고는 많은 경기를 타이거포비아 팀이랑 치르게 됐대요. 근데 거기서 이런 이런 조합을 본 적이 있어가지고는 예상을 하셨다고 합니다.
네, 그렇군요. 그럼 앞으로 경기에 임하는 각오 마지막으로 여쭤보도록 하겠습니다.
So, do you want to say anything as we go on with the matches forward?
I just want to talk to the NA fans. Actually, I just want to tell you that hopefully we'll bring it home this time, and hopefully we'll prove you proud.
북미 팬들한테 한 말씀 하시고 싶다는데 우리 이번에는 진짜 열심히 해서 이겨서 우승컵을 우리 미국으로 다시 갖고 오겠다고 하십니다.
네, 응원하겠습니다. 이라크 조로 선수에게 박수 부탁드리겠습니다. 오늘 수고하셨습니다. Thank you.
Thank you.
네, 전 다음 경기 때 뵙겠습니다. 좋은 날이었습니다.
네, 다시 한번 갱스타 선수들